Alright, so now we're in the Earth Temple, and we have to collect the free icons representing the elements of the Earth.
Before you stopped yourself, it sounded like you were about to say, now we're in the final one. It's like, no, Pedro, we're not skipping ahead that easy.
That's, we were so lucky.
That's my brain screaming, I want to get out, I want to get out! Yeah, so yeah, like I said, we have to unlock Sub-Zero's moves via experience points. Again, a completely unnecessary thing that I don't understand why it's here, but yeah.
It's more the fact that it's unnecessary for this particular kind of game. I can see that with the appropriate context, a skill tree that expands Sub-Zero, abilities allow you to do creative things would have been neat, particularly for something like, say, a Metroidvania type of exploration game. But this is not only linear, but dependent on the tight platforming, so it's not really that fitting for this kind of style.
For the first two levels, yes, Teo, but that's the thing. The sewer level, it's technically called the water temple.
Temple, but no, it's the sewer level.
The sewer level is kind of designed like a Metroid level, so yeah, it does kind of have that element to it. That's the thing.
True. No, what I mean is on a larger scale. With this door is unlocked. Is locked behind this ability we don't have yet. You need to acquire it. And go ahead. Fight again. The classic Metroid mentality. Have instead of a set of smaller areas, all connected via linear thread, have instead, just a big one that encompasses basically all the game, and you have to occasionally backtrack or go through another direction in order to gain the power, and occasionally have the plot progress as a result.
You have
I need to interrupt for a bit here, but Pedro, why did you pass by that one that clearly had a rope that looked like you could climb down it?
Because I need to get that yellow object first.
Oh God!
Yeah, speaking of keys, these games. Sorry, go on.
So it's a beginner's trap, essentially.
It's not so much that it's a beginner's trap, Joe, but the rope does lead to somewhere. It's just that I know in advance that I need that key first.
Shit!
I thought you were going to die.
Wait.
That's exactly the problem.
I know that one is.
Congratulations, Jova. You just figured out the big problem of this level. Very good.
Also, one thing that you're seeing is the fact that Pedro is not really using the run option. You can, if I recall correctly, you have to tap 2 times the direction.
You press R2.
Okay, but still, Sub-Zero basically is kind of like Bobsy. It goes from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds.
That's how it is in Mortal Kombat 3, too. The difference is that that's a fighting game, so it makes sense. This is not a fighting game, though.
This translates into you going face planting into a trap most of the time.
Again, remember, platformer beat 'em up with Mortal Kombat 3's controls. That's what this is.
Okay, I don't know if I've stressed it before, but I'll stress it again. Out of all the characters they chose to kick off their spin-offs with, why Sub-Zero? I mean, don't get me wrong, I have no doubts that he was popular, but surely there were much more popular characters like,
Scorpion.
Literally Scorpion. This feels weird. This is like if for X-Men Origins, instead of starting with Wolverine, they started with Morph.
Not really. I mean, Jova, at the time, Sub-Zero was the second most popular character, so it's not like he was a bad choice or anything. Yeah, it was.
Jova.
I mean, the two most popular characters have always been Scorpion and Sub-Zero, because Scorpion's backstory, especially because Scorpion's backstory is entirely tied to Sub-Zero anyway. So
okay. I know that Scorpion was always popular, but I never recalled hearing that Sub-Zero was that popular back then either.
Remember, Joe, with Mortal Kombat 3, when Bihan was not when Kuai Liang, that's the younger Sub-Zero, when Kuai Liang appeared unmasked, a lot of people missed the classic look for Sub-Zero, which is why they brought back Bihan for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. That's that's the older classic Sub-Zero.
And he's like the older brother of the later Sub-Zero, isn't he?
But let me put
younger.
Okay, for here
older brother.
To help the newcomers like Dwebs. Here's the basic gist of it. They're brothers. The older one is called Bihan, and the younger one is called Kuai Liang. And the original Bihan's alias as when he's in here as a disguise as a ninja is Sub-Zero. That's his alias. When he died, however, his brother took his alias, in kind of a way to honor him of sorts,
I forget though. Doesn't he kind of die off screen game wise in the sense where he kind of dies?
No, he
in
canonically
between
gets killed by Scorpion.
At the end of the first game, yeah.
games? Isn't he back in like the second game though?
No, that's Kwai Liang.
His fate is different. His fate goes for a different.
Well, you already spoiled it in Mortal Kombat 3, but yeah, sure. Sorry, part 1 of this. Sorry, but let's just say, Jova, the series is not done with Bi-Han yet.
Oh, I love how you literally bonked the boss on the head with that.
Also, an actual 3D model.
So here's how you defeat this guy. Just keep punching him in the balls. There you go.
Of course. This 3D model compared to all the digitized actors feels so jarring.
So yeah, if you keep uppercutting him in the balls, you're going to always cancel his attacking animations, so you'll be fine. There you go.
Stay falsy.
So, unfortunately, I've pretty much given up puns, so I can't make any right now.
Oh, so you're like Mr. Freeze in Batman White Knight.
And there we go.
Oh, so you've read Batman White Knight.
Wow.
I think I did mention to you.
No,
whatever, another time.
I love how the pieces of that giant flew off into non-existence. All right.
The power of 3D, Pedro. That's just how it
And now you just have to wait here like a moron while this button slowly rises, so you can get the second key. There you go. And I have to wait till it lowers, because remember, if you fall from a height, you die, because fall damage and
Contra syndrome.
No. Remember, Teo, falling damage. Surprisingly, Teo, this game does not have Contra syndrome. It's more than not that it needs to, because there's falling damage. So
yeah. Look, falling damage in general is iffy, but falling damage in a 2D platformer is a big no-no.
Extreme rope climbing action.
You'd think the level would just be over by this point, seeing as how we got the whole elemental scroll here.
That's the thing, Jova, because the plot is so short, they have to pad the game out somehow, so let's just make these temples as unnecessarily huge as possible. Because remember, the plot right now is basically on pause. Right now, we're just collecting all the 4 elements.
Fuck.
Isn't that part of the plot? Collecting the elements and...
That's not a plot, that's a goal. Like, that's a fetch quest.
It's essentially... So which has more story, this or the first Final Fantasy? Because it's essentially the same when you get down to it.
The first, Jova, to be honest, the first, because you interact with more people, there is different stuff to do, and, the characters themselves do not have any personalities to speak of. There are NPCs to talk with that compensate that.
To go on from what Teo was saying, the reason I don't typically use a run button unless I have to is because, well, as you can see, the floor keeps constantly opening up death holes over and over. So obviously, I'm a bit paranoid.
Like the first Metal Gear on the NES.
honestly, Teo, I don't. The NES version. Okay, yeah, then yes, definitely. Alright, let's continue finding the third key. Yeah, that's basically what this is, really. This is basically it. Go to a temple, find the 3 keys, and you're done, basically.
I mean, if I were making this game, I would have just made it so each level would end when you get each elemental thing. Like, it's not like they're all connected
by one. That's the thing, Jova. The 3 keys are exclusive for the Earth Temple. We haven't got the element yet.
Here's how it works, Jova. You go into a temple, and in order to collect the element of that temple, you need to collect 3 keys. Again, this is exactly the kind of structure that South Park Stick of Truth was making fun of in the school level.
I get that, but the weird thing is that we're still collecting keys after we've beaten the boss and gotten the element.
See? Like, there you go. That's why I don't typically run in this game. There you go.
That's nice. Give a player an ability and discourage them to use it indefinitely.
Exactly.
And what I always like to imagine? So, the saying, you probably need a...
Hold on, John, I haven't actually explained these monks. In order to kill this monk, you have to throw ice at him while he's using his disappear, reappearing animation, and that will make him explode. Because
that's obtuse.
Because, not just that, Jova, it's the ice blast move. The ice blast just freezes the opponent. It doesn't kill on its own. So what the fuck? Are they?
I suppose.
Are these? Is ice the weak element of these monks?
I'm guessing the idea is well, because they're using their magic, it causes something of a magical overload, and thus,
or like
when
they're
they
deconcentrated or something.
And when they try and use it, then they end up shattering into pieces.
Too bad the John Tobias couldn't be bothered to explain that. Go ahead.
I know that's right. But, okay, you know the saying, oh, you probably need a guide to play this game proper or complete it proper? One does have to...
Well, go ahead. You continue first.
I always like to wonder. So, yeah, obviously, people may use guides or cheats or hacks to get through these games. But you have to wonder, what about the poor saps who have to make the guides? Like, you know, the people who actually have to figure this stuff out without
Usually are given a copy, you know, with either cheats or that have given general direction from the company associating to what pulled and what not. This is why the Ultimania Guide of Final Fantasy IX, for some reason, well, the piggyback, doesn't include the actual fight strategy to fight Ozma for some reason. They decided to not let them write it.
So would you say that this extends even to modern times, Tio?
Well, I don't know how modern game guides are, but that's the usual process, Jova.
It's also the fact that, trust me, Jova, it does get to that point, because this level is, the first two levels aren't too bad, at least by this game's standards, of course. However, and when we get to the next level, the water temple, aka the sewer level, in fact, we're gonna get there right now, actually. So, I'll hold on.
So you're telling me that this level, which has randomly opening platforms here, stuff that you probably wouldn't be able to figure out for your life's worth, that was actually tolerable compared to what's to come.
It's mostly...
Well, it's a sewer level, so...
God, that teleportation animation, I feel like that's something that Channel Awesome would make fun of.
I think we just reversed the footage for, the reappearing act.
It's literally just the same thing, but with the green screen changed the background. That's literally it. And look, another level where I have to collect free things in order to advance. I haven't seen this before.
But this time you're in the sewers.
Okay.
I wonder what the budget was for this game.
Well, Mortal Kombat was already a gigantic franchise at the time, so probably a very high budget for the time.
Is there any reason why sometimes the enemies don't attack you like at all, even though you're clearly right next to them?
Because the AI is dumb. That's all there is to it. I'm playing the game on easy, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know.
Evil manta rays.
I'm just gonna say this. Look, I know that it's supposed to be a frame-in-frame thing that you would normally miss, but you know the bits where you're going in between walls here and there? It's literally just black screen there. Like,
yep.
Something about that just feels kind of lazy, even for a game like this. Like, look at it. It's literally like a black bar in between there. Like, you couldn't maybe have made like a stone texture or something like. And don't get me wrong, I know it's a nitpick, but this game has so many problems that they just pile on up. That'd be the icing on the cake.
It also feels unnecessary because again, it's not hiding a loading screen. You might as well leave the section open for all it needs to.
Everything about this game is just baffling.
This game is a complete train wreck, Joe. I can assure you that. But anyway, this is by far, to me, the worst level in the game for various reasons. One, well, the usual problems that every single level in this game, of course, also apply here. Combined with the fact that this is a maze. And
yay!
Why is it that sewer levels and mazes tend to coincide?
And keep in mind, you don't really have a map, if I recall correctly.
No, there are no map screens of any kind, and because most places in this game look the fucking same, it's incredibly easy to get lost in here.
See, a good... What the fuck?
Deji, I think someone is honking for you.
Yeah. This is a good game design. Actually, will compensate.
Coming, sweetie.
The good game design will compensate this by having landmarks, so you don't really have to need a map in the first place. You're like, oh, in this place there's this giant statue, in this other, a fountain, in this. Jesus Christ. In this other bottomless pit, I know what is connected to each other, and that. This is why maps like the ones in Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night work well while having little to no details, because you do remember, the major landmarks, and you know how to navigate between, the major rooms. But no, this is not the case.
Seriously, what is it with sewer levels tending to be mazes as well?
I get the idea that someone really, really we joked about in Lotto Track Java, but I get the idea that someone really, really got dig at the idea of a tunnel network underground, similar to the one that's under Paris or Rome. So
yeah.
It's mostly because, again, this level is very big. There's a shit ton of passages that interconnect and everything. So, like I said, it's incredibly easy to get confused where you've been, where you are in relation to anything. So, remember, you have to find free freaking keys.
I guess, to be fair, at least with this level, there don't seem to be any beginner traps so far.
Well, there are no beginner traps.
The mandatories do damage, Juvo, so keep that in mind.
Not just that, Jova, but there's also one particular bug of the game that really screws you up in this game. You know how up until this point, every time Sub-Zero manages to just by a hair reach a ledge and he grabs it?
Yeah.
And he climbs it. The grabbing mechanic doesn't work in this level for some reason.
Oh god, it's like Mighty Number 2 stage and Mighty Number 9. Grabbing doesn't work.
Which means there will be a lot of times where you make a jump that you normally would be able to make if you were in one of the other levels. But you can't, because for some bewildering reason, Sub-Zero will not grab ledges just in this one level.
I guess there's slippery or something. The game doesn't even bother to explain it.
How do you even screw that up? You programmed in the moveset grabbing ledges. Like, how the hell?
That's the thing, Jova. That's the thing, Pedro. Again, I'm assuming that it's intentional in that case, but the game could not actually give a decent explanation for it.
Did you jump cut?
Yes.
There's a lot of jump.
Remember, with Edge, this is a maze. I might as well actually, minimize the meandering.
Trust me, Deji. There's like a half hour of footage that you're not seeing. Because this game is just this level is confusing as all hell, I assure you. Your first run through, you're gonna be here for like an hour. Like, just trying to figure out where everything is.
And it's not like the pleasant kind of hour.
No.
It's not a challenge.
No. This game is not challenging, it's cheap.
If you want to torture your friends on your own channel, Dej, be my fucking guest.
This game is the equivalent of trying to do karate.
Not after what happened last time.
This game is if by challenging you mean this is the equivalent of trying to do karate with both your hands tied behind your back, then yes, I guess.
Well, some people do really have a thick head, Pedro. So who knows?
Yes. Yeah, just make me wait here until the water drains. Yeah, great.
Leaves water elevator music. Perfect.
Jesus Christ, I'll take the water temple in any Legend of Zelda game over this.
This is giving you appreciation.
Thanks for playing Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Yes.
But anyway,
it's giving me appreciation for what
hold on.
The most.
Here we go. Yet another beginner's trap in a moment. So basically, right
you
now,
need to use the key here. If I recall correctly.
Yes. Make sure you're running toward the left when it happens. So yeah, we're gonna use the key. So again, keep in mind you have to be able to, and now you have to run and sweep. There you go. Not only
you will be trapped and drowned.
Not only do you have to run away from the water, you have to know that you're supposed to sweep because the door is also closing on you.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but goddamn, is that arbitrary?
Not just that, Jova. Again, a first-time player will die there. It's that simple because there's no hint, any kind of possible telling that what you need to do in that specific section. Second, the timing is very precise because the controls in this game aren't the best, So as a result, you can potentially screw up your sweep and accidentally do another move the one that I did. I forgot the name for it.
Just crouching, simple crouching, I think.
So, I don't know if it's been mentioned before, but was this one of those cases where back in the day the game was praised, but
No.
it's gotten worse
No.
with age? Or
No.
was this a case where everyone hated it upon release?
Everyone still hated it.
Even back
Not
then,
as
Jova,
much-
people hated it.
Not as much as the next spin-off game. Special Forces in
Wait,
Parakokagi is
wait,
actually
wait,
more
wait.
hated than this.
How can it get worse than this?
Which
Special Forces is just boring.
No,
But this at least has the
no.
mythology aspect going forward.
No, it's not even just that. No, I'll still take special. I even disagree with that. For as boring as that game is, I'll still take special for because that game's at the very least playable. It's playable because that game at the very least I can actually play it and just go through it, and that's it. This game is a complete exercise in pain and frustration. Like,
Oh, look, of course, the puzzle piece. Yes.
Remember the key to use.
And we're done, I guess.
yes, with
No,
them.
we need to fight the boss, I think.
Oh, right.
yeah, I forgot,
So this
I
time
forgot
this time
about the boss,
is
yeah.
actually at the end of the level.
So yeah,
instead of-
time to fight the water titan or the water god. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, does this water god ever return in any future game?
Oh, I think it's mentioned. Just let me check just to be sure.
I mean, we know
Yeah,
that.
I gotta say, the new Killer Instinct looks great.
I mean, we know.
All right. It looks like I forgot what it's called.
I mean, obviously, this was Fujin's debut, but I don't think this guy returns.
No, Fujin was the only named character, aside from, Quan Chi and his god.
Also, TL, to answer your question, the guy from Killer Instinct, his name is Galatius.
Glacius, there you go, thank you. No, but I'm checking here. Give me a second.
Sure. And boom.
Gee, a guy made of water contrasting a guy that specializes in ice.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And here we go.
Towards the fire temple
Boy,
instead.
I sure never get tired of watching this animation.
So, who exactly teleports Sub-Zero?
I'm guessing it's supposed to be Quan Chi doing it, but I mean, because remember, we're doing this quest for Quan Chi, so I'm assuming he's the one doing it.
Alright. Okay, Pedro, you're probably not gonna like this. It's one of the elder gods that talk with each other in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Wait, they're the ones teleporting him?
Oh, great.
No, I was talking about the other appearance of the Water Titan.
Oh
Water God.
Then I don't think any. Well, just the thing. That game came out so that movie came out in 1997. I think that was the same year that this game came out. So yeah, I guess it was cross promotion. Maybe I don't know.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yes, not that it matters really. Well, at the very least, the worst level in the game is done. Tune in next time where we go into the Fire Temple.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yay!